Hi, I don't usually make videos. Actually, I don't make any videos, but we went through some experiences as a military family. My husband retired 2 years ago from the Marine Corps after 26 years with infertility and fertility treatments, and I thought that I would like to make a video to kind of impart some of our experiences and our and information that we have accumulated over the years that may be some help to other families, military or non-military. I know that there is a representative, Sarah Jacobs, in San Diego that has just authored a HR 2557 IVF for Military Families Act that is currently going through all the House and everything. And hopefully that will help future military families as they struggle with infertility, because right now it is very difficult if you're a military family, and has been in past years, to receive care affordably or efficiently. We move a lot. Insurance, Tricare is not the best for fertility treatments. So here are some of the things that we did. Our fertility diminished quite early on. My husband's side was because at 21, he was given a vasectomy on a misdiagnosis. They offered to reverse it, but a reversal, obviously makes your motility extremely low, which his was. And then myself, I developed endometriosis. We had 2 children together. By the time I was 20 years old, I had 2 children. And that was fantastic. Some people, they suffer infertility without any children. It's just my fertility then began to diminish with my endometriosis. I had multiple surgeries. I had most of my ovary removed. Anyway, that's our backstory on that. We ended up trying to just do, fertility drugs, IUI, things like that we could kind of afford as a military family. Wasn't anything really offered through our insurance or the military facilities we were around. We did about 10 years after we started getting having issues with our fertility. We were living in Italy, and we paid out of pocket for IVF at an Italian facility. It did not work, and it was a long and horrible experience, but it didn't work. We then were stationed in San Diego, and I was referred to Balboa, and we did fertility treatments through Balboa. And they partnered with a civilian clinic, so we still had to pay for the actual IVF. We did 6 IUIs that were covered. They did not work, and then we did IVF, which we paid out of pocket for. Still considerably less than going full civilian route, which, is thousands and thousands. At that time, we only paid $1,500. And we had twins, but I had no embryos left over. So our oldest 2 were at that point 20 and 17 when we had the twins, and we still wanted to have another child. We discussed it. I was only in my early 30s, and we had thought about it. Well, at that time, we still didn't have any insurance for fertility treatments. Income was still not fantastic, and I had absolutely no fertility left. I had no eggs really, and we had no embryos left over. And so I started doing some research, and we decided to adopt an embryo. And this was a new thing for me. And most people that I speak with don't really know much about it. There's whole communities out on Facebook, and that's what I did. I joined communities, and I found out as much information, called facilities. And this was after a few more failed IUIs that we could do, and discussing doing another IVF, which they told us our percentages were very low. I looked at several clinics, and one in California did where you get some background information, medical history, and you had adopted this embryo. Different states have different laws. We were in Virginia at the time, and I did to California, and this was during COVID, so it was a little challenging. Doing all the workups through the Jones Institute Clinic in Norfolk, Virginia, so everything was done, long distance. And I did all my injections just like you do with regular IVF. I went through all the process, and we adopted this embryo. I flew out to California, did the procedure, came back. I was pregnant. We had a son. He is now 4. Beautiful, healthy boy. And this was extremely expensive. Well, given what our IVF was previously, it was very expensive. But it was a tested embryo and that sort of thing, which my husband felt the most comfortable with. And biology just doesn't matter to us. We wanted a child to love, and he's a dream. My husband retired in 2023. We decided we wanted to do this again. Guess why not? And we were settled. We moved to Orlando, Florida. We're completely settled. We had the twins and our youngest boy living with us. And I went through Brown Fertility Clinic here locally this time. And they did it a little bit differently than that one. And it was a little bit less money, and I was able to go in person and do everything, but same process, and adopted an embryo. And we had a baby girl who is now a year old. So this is how we ended up having to, conquer our fertility in a way, was kind of thinking out of the box and using science for their benefit. And it's not for everyone, but we love our children. They are ours. We are so thankful and grateful for them. We chose to do anonymous adoption, so they are completely just ours. There are other ways. There is semi-open and open. You can meet the people, but if you go through a clinic, usually they're anonymous and not open at all. It's up to you what makes you feel comfortable and what is best for your family. But this is how we ended up having to do it when our fertility was completely gone, and with no real insurance or way to have another child. And that's what I wanted to share.